What is going on, fam? My name is Mike Reilley from Reilley's Tasting Room, and today I think that we have a heavy hitter. We have the Reservoir from Bakes Brewing. The Reservoir from Bakes Brewing is coming in at a whopping 10% alcohol. That's right, 10% alcohol. And it is a triple IPA. And just from this pour, oh my God, this is exactly what we're looking for with these Bakes beers. Looks phenomenal. Cheers. So we have the phenomenal looking Reservoir right now, and you know, I am extremely happy with this pour. Phenomenal color, very white yellow thickness to it, very hazy. That's something that you normally do get from your Bakes beers. A lot of them, I'd say about 99% of them look like this, and it's just a gorgeous sight to see. You know, you have to love it. You have to just, this is just the best way that these Bakes beers are. And like I said, a triple IPA coming in at 10% alcohol. So this is exactly what they do. Extremely hazy, high percentages, and in the past, all of the ones that I've had, extremely smooth for those high percentages. So we just got to get right into this one. Not a lot of aroma on here. Sometimes you get some, sometimes you don't. Not getting too much at all, but that's not a bad thing. So the Reservoir, you know, cheers. The first initial sip of that gives me a very hop saturated forward-ness to there. That first sip, you are getting a lot of hops mixed in. They definitely are there, and you get a little bitterness in the background of that, but for 10% alcohol, it doesn't taste like it's boozy by any means. Sometimes you'll get that boozy taste when it's such a high percentage, and with a triple being 10%, you know, you usually get a little bit of that boozy alcohol taste in there. You get none of that in here. It's very hop forward, like I mentioned, and then you're just getting a very smooth, hazy background to there, which just kind of meshes very well together. And for something as like creamy and hazy as this is, I would expect it to be a little bit more like thicker and full mouthfeel than it actually is too, because it seems very light for what it is with the amount of like hops that you're getting and that like flavor palette in there. So you are getting a very light sipper and a very hazy, creamy mouthfeel as well. I'm definitely tasting a lot of different hops that are in there. I'm going to look into how many are in there. Sometimes they list them, sometimes they don't. But you are getting a very hop forward, like I mentioned, and you're getting like that little bit of a hop burn in the mouth that mixes very well with like the bitterness. So you are like tasting the hops. You're getting a bunch of different like flavor palettes with the hoppiness in there, which is very good, especially when you get like that hop burn in there mixed with the bitterness. You kind of just taste everything at once, and then because it is as hazy and like creamy and that velvety mouthfeel that you normally get with a lot of these beers, it just kind of disappears, and that's so good. So you're getting a very good flavor palette up front, and then you're getting like that mixture of the burn and the hoppiness, and then it's just smoothed out because it does just taste so good mixed together. Besides that, I'm really not getting too many other flavors in there. You're not really getting any like citrus, or not getting any of like a mango or anything along those lines. So this is pretty much a triple 10% IPA that is pretty hop forward, but also very smooth at the same time for a 10% beer. So I did end up looking on the Untappd for this beer, the Reservoir, and they do mention that there are 4 different hops that are in there. So that's why it is so hop forward on there. And it's kind of cool because they did tell a story about this as well. So obviously on the can, it does have a little picture of the Reservoir with that simple Bakes logo on there like they normally do. And then within that little story that they put on there, you know, they're having a good time for the summer memories and just a bunch of cool things, which is why they made this. And honestly, if you're drinking a lot of these beers, you aren't really going to remember a lot of the summer stuff, but that's okay. Just a really, really phenomenal, straightforward, hazy triple IPA from Bakes again. One more step, and I'm going to give you a Reilley's tasting room review. Yeah, from the first sip until the last sip right now, you are getting, like I mentioned, a lot of the hop forward. You're getting those 4 different hops in there, which actually mesh phenomenally together. And then you are getting a little bit of like that hoppy burn, a little bit of that bitterness, and then a little bit of like that just light, pillowy, hazy, creamy, velvety mouthfeel with this. And, you know, it's just a very clean, and for a 10% beer, extremely, extremely easy sipper, which we love that. And Bakes usually hits the nail on the head with that. And that being said, the Reservoir, a triple IPA coming in at 10% from Bakes Brewing, has to be a 4.25 out of 5. Cheers.